Think about what you did.
Nobody makes it to the end of these things. Come on.
The Broken Agenda Podcast. Sponsored by Laughing Rock Technology.
Snuffleupagus was
I
awesome.
brought my boombox.
Sounds just
my
like
neighbors
Christmas.
that the other day. I rode my daughter's bike with beers between my legs, like down my hill, and then with my boombox in my
Wait,
hand.
was it a legit boombox?
It was like the big DeWalt. It wasn't a legit boombox.
Oh, okay.
It was
So
a
it didn't have
battery
the-
powered.
It didn't have the double tape
No,
deck.
no.
Okay. Without the double tape deck, it's not a boombox.
I know.
You gotta be able to make your mixtapes.
Yeah.
That's how the boombox.
Copy.
That's what put the boom in the box.
You got a dub.
All right, formal intro. Fine,
When you
I'll do
want to say
this.
something, just grab that, slide it over. Yeah. Because I think if we
Roy,
keep
you
it in the
grab it
middle,
and
it
slide
might
it
not
over?
pick.
Oh,
It
sorry.
might not pick us up. So I think you want to be talking kind of close to it.
All right, I know we don't usually
been
do a
through a lot of
formal
spiels
intro.
trying to
Jimmy,
get
let me
this
do this,
thing-
man.
Oh, what?
It's a mic. He'll figure it out.
Oh, I was,
I'll just cuddle up next to you and just
Grab this.
it took us 4 episodes to get the mic down right.
Well, we're not as smart as him.
Yeah.
Look at this gaggle of idiots.
All right.
So, welcome everybody. I know we don't usually do formal intros, but we've got some special guests today, and we are actually just riding loose. So, no agenda, no plan. Jimmy brought in 2 very good friends. Jimmy, I'll let you do the intros on these 2 fine gentlemen, but yeah, why don't you take it and tell us what we're talking about today?
Okay, so it's kind of last minute. We had another agenda today, but these guys were in from Boston, and we were meeting with them from in my company that I'm working with now, Active World Club, which is a crypto venture capital company. And so
Nice little plug there. You
Yeah.
know that was a good plug. That was good.
So these guys came in today. They're have some background and a project in the works that's dealing with carbon credits. So we're gonna talk to them a little bit about their project and what's going on and what plans are in the works. And ultimately, in the end, here, I think our company is gonna make a contribution, and we're going to end up working together. And so we'll see what happens and get a little bit deeper understanding of how carbon credits and cryptocurrencies and NFTs all are coming together. And so I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about them.
How's it going, guys? I'm Matt.
John, founder. Well, we'll be founder of what we're trying to put together here. Thanks for having us. Nice to meet
Absolutely.
you. Same day. Thanks, Jim or James.
It's neat.
Yeah, so we're basically just trying to come up with a new way of transactions for crypto and carbon credits. So basically, we're looking to set up an exchange that will allow business to business or consumer to business the availability to trade, buy and sell carbon credits.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Sure.
Because we were talking about this like 3 episodes ago, and I don't think there was any consensus amongst the 3 of us of what exactly a carbon credit is.
So a carbon credit, it's basically like permission, almost like a permit to emit 1 ton of carbon into the atmosphere. So 1 ton is a metric ton of carbon in the gas form. So basically, if you emit 1 ton into the atmosphere for your, let's say your shoe factory, which obviously that they put out a lot more, but you would need to purchase 1 carbon credit from. Go ahead.
To do what?
In order for the permission to emit that carbon for the year.
But it's a voluntary thing, right? If you don't purchase it, there's no penalty to emitting the carbon. It's more of a socially conscious thing. Is that correct? Or
As of now, but we're turning the page. Even in the Build Back Better plan, there was in that package there was money for renewable energy, carbon capture, and really just figuring out how to have these companies comply with this. So, is it a law? Will you get penalized? I don't have the answer on that right now. More will come, next time we talk.
so let me ask you this: where's the money go? So who are you buying it from? I guess what I'm saying.
So agricultural land, like farmers, this is one aspect of it. Depending on crops, how often they till the fields, their land can be basically valued for the carbon credits that they offset.
Okay.
So instead of the industry, picture a big stack putting, 100,000 tons out, and someone who has a corn farm with 1,000 acres, they can then sell those carbon credits from like the carbon offset to these major industries that need the carbon credits. Again, the permission to emit that carbon into the air. So kind of like clean and dirty, you know what I mean? Another way to do it is...
Let me inject just for a minute. Because I was talking to him a little bit today, trying to get it into layman's terms.
That's cheating.
Yeah. So what I kind of gathered was that, like, if you're a manufacturer and you're emitting so much carbon into the air, you have a point where you meet a threshold that if you produce, you only are allowed to produce so much. And if you start to continue to produce more than that, you either have to install what was that system called? Carbon capture system, yeah. Right? In order to bring that down, or you can purchase credits from somebody who's not emitting carbon. And then you go to like somebody like a farmer who has credits and is not using them, and he can then actually convert them, sell them over.
So how do these thresholds determine? Is it based on the amount of, acreage that you're working off of? Is it based on the amount?
It's based on the volume of carbon that they emit. So it's volumed, what they're polluting and how much volume they're doing.
But wouldn't there be a baseline? If a farmer has excess credits, it's because they were under a baseline.
They have. It's because of their acreage and whatever's growing on their land.
Okay, so it's based on.
So the plants consume it.
Okay.
Carbon. So picture the smoke out of the smokestack coming up. The plants like sucking it in. They offset the amount of carbon that's in the atmosphere.
So theoretically, if you had 4 acres of land, but you did tiered planting, that would be more carbon credits that you could bank than having just a single planting level on the ground level. Because you have more plants, more.
Yeah, and it also depends on the type of plant or crops.
Okay.
There's different ones that consume. I forget the name of it. I really wish I knew the name. But they started planting this plant near facilities like this, and this specific plant consumes the most amount of carbon from the air, like in the world, like the number one carbon consumer. So they started, I think it started as like an experiment or like a science project, and they did notice a difference from the carbon volumes in the air in that specific area.
Okay.
Which, again, so they can buy the carbon credits from someone who, has leftovers or has land that's worthless and they get valued at that, or they can invest in their own sequestering carbon capture system, like from a company like Camber Energy. They're having a merger with Viking Energy, and they might potentially, they're partnered with ESG, but they just built a facility out in Holyoke, and which is going to be like the model for the rest of them. But if you invest in one of those companies to come in and they build this carbon capture system, then it captures up to 90% of what gets emitted. So now you only need to buy 10 carbon credits, 10% of what you used to have to buy.
Okay.
And at the same time, the carbon that you capture, you get credits for because you didn't emit it. So now you can sell that to the other guy.
Is there going to be an exchange for this? Is this part of the crypto?
So that's part of this whole platform. It's going to be a decentralized blockchain exchange.
So the farmer can put their carbon credits on the exchange. The manufacturer can put their need on the exchange. They come to a price just like a stock market, and there's going to be a sale price, and that'll drive the price of the crypto exchange.
Yeah, and the end goal will be NFTs that basically, it's a seal, like it's a certified carbon credit.
Gotcha.
So the NFT will be attached, and we might do different NFTs based off of the value. So, we could simplify 10 carbon credits equals this NFT with this logo, and one single carbon credit would be just this NFT. Does that follow?
It does.
So there'd be different monetary values or carbon credit values per the series of NFTs.
Gotcha.
That way companies
Okay.
don't need to trade 100 million. They can just, it's basically simplifying the decimal.
Now, winners and losers here. Where?
Everyone. Everyone's the winner.
Come on, that's a crazy statement.
Hey, listen. People
on,
people
don't go
like
ahead.
farmers worry about crops and weather, and are they gonna, some people are in hard. A lot of people these days are in hard times.
Well, now I know, but now how does the farmer get the initial set? They're going to be issued to them based on
So
reports
that-
that they're submitting, or
So that's another thing that I'm working on. I talked to a company overseas. They got a couple different locations, and they come almost like a land surveyor, and they set up, they stake everything out, they measure what type of crops do you have, they test the soils, how many times do you turn over the soil, because when you turn over the soil, what do? You kick carbon from the soil. So that's something that gets balanced with how much does your plants consumed based off of per capita, if you will,
okay.
versus how often do you till. Is it 2 times a year? Is it 4 times a year?
Can I inject just for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because if you don't stay semi in relation to the mic, we won't get a good copy off you. So you got to be conscious of
I
that
see what you're
mic.
saying.
You know what I mean? Because you fade back, and then when you turn to the side,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just like
Whatever.
I want to make sure we get a good take here. So
All right.
just-
First time's a warning.
All right,
Second
Jim.
time, slap. He slaps you. He just comes across
That's
the bar.
Jim right there.
yeah, that was James.
Yeah.
That was the point.
I think we would have got a spank from
So-
James.
No, it does matter though. So I'm just pointing
Yeah,
out
no, I
before
appreciate
we
it.
get so
I thought he
deep
was going
into
to
the
say something
show.
important. Like I thought he had some like heavy-handed shit to say. Like
I
he's
know.
gonna be like, "Look, I think what we're really talking about here," and then throw a technical term that I never heard of.
I was on a roll there too.
He
Yes,
was on a
and I'm sorry.
Oh.
He sabotaged you. It's submarine.
That's
All
so
right,
he
we
was
were talking about the
over.
land surveyors and the people.
Yeah.
So now this is a third-party company.
All right, yeah,
Right?
so-
these are companies that.
Yeah, so
do
this would be a third-party company. I reached out to them to potentially start a U.S. branch because they come up, like I was saying, they survey your land, what type of crops. Basically, they put together this spreadsheet, enter the data, and say, hey, you're accredited 3 carbon credits per acre based off of
Okay.
the use of your land.
And it's an open formula, right?
And
You know what the formula is. It just needs somebody to figure it out.
Right.
It's not like
So
a closed thing and it's random. Like you get 5 and you get 1.
right, basically. So and again, that's not here in the United States. So that system might have to be tweaked a little bit, but definitely something that that in itself would be a huge company to start if this is the way that the country and the world is going. Because eventually we're going to need those people to do this, whether it's factories or agricultural land or any type of business that deals with carbon. Because if it's a new way of life, everybody's going to have to get on board with it.
All right. So we got third-party companies coming in. They're going to evaluate you. They're going to put it into a database, and then when they evaluate, you'll just get them. You'll get the tokens, or you'll get the NFTs. I mean,
So yeah, I
They'll be
think
issued to you on the
Well,
blockchain.
this is the tokens and the NFTs are going to be completely different things. So
Okay, gotcha.
basically, when we talk about tokens and NFTs in the carbon
the
credit
NFT is really just
industry, that's us saying going out. Okay, all these farmers, they're not
Gotcha.
tech people, right? They've got all this land. They're not tech people. They're struggling, and we approach them and say, hey, you have X 100 carbon credits, and they can be sold. They're worth something. And so this becomes an industry for farmers to sell their credits or landowners. And one of the things we talked about earlier was that there's something in place that's actually keeping out corporate and government. Like, so your land has to be privately held in order to sell your credits. Is that not right? We talked about that earlier, or that there were some kind of guidelines or restrictions there with that.
I'm not sure about
I get
that.
Jimmy's making shit
I thought I thought we talked about.
I
that earlier.
don't know if it has to be. I don't think it has to be private.
Yeah, we pulled it up on that website you were talking about. Remember we read that? Yeah. Go ahead, I'll
It's like
find
that
it.
story
No,
as
that's
a
all
kid.
I'll find it.
Prove it.
I just don't want to say it's
Prove
a
it.
ForestCarbonworks.com.
You remember that one time?
Right? Remember we talked about that? Must contain at least 40 acres of land. Must be privately held land.
Okay.
Not federal or public.
Okay.
not corporate owned. So a corporation can't go out and cover their, like, essentially their own credits. Like, they can't go out, build this manufacturing plant, then go out and gobble up a bunch
And then
of
buy
land
200,000 acres of
and
land in
support their
Montana.
own and support their own
Gotcha.
credits.
Okay.
Didn't we look at that? Pull that up.
Even if it's a
Forest Carbon Works, I think was the website.
what was it?
Forest Carbon Works.
Pull it up.
So I mean, that would be interesting because that's you know.
And I'm not trying to bust your chops. I'm trying to understand the process.
No,
here,
yeah,
'cause
yeah.
there's so many moving parts to these things. And I remember, I'm old enough. I'm
I
not,
would-
young,
I
I'm not
would-
young anymore. I remember the Al Gore carbon credit days when it ended up, he just built a lot of new beach houses because he ended up, all the money funneled to him. And it was a pyramid scheme, which was never what it was meant to be, but there was never any plan for who was going to sell them, where the money was going to go, how it was going to help. He planted a couple trees and said, I don't know what to tell you.
So I think to comment on that, I would say that's the stuff that, next time we meet, we'll talk about. Because that's some of the stuff that, anybody can come up with the first half of that, but getting the second half, that's the meat and
The
potatoes.
actual,
absolutely.
the actual
It's
business
all about
model.
So I respect
And-
the question, but that's where we can't talk about tonight.
Okay, fair enough.
And
That's
I
fine.
think, like,
and just to be clear,
where
anybody
we-
that watches this, we absolutely gave him first right of refusal on anything we say because he's in the mix, he's in the sauce right now. So we apologize if he declines to answer anything. We're gonna hit him back up later. We'll get answers. But
Yeah, I'll come back. I hate to leave you hanging, but
no, I would not. I don't blame you. One
You
bit.
know.
I would do the same thing. So thank you for even showing up.
And I think part of the thing, and when we talked about this on our that other show, when this came up, because I was at an NFT conference down in Miami, and we ran into another company that was doing something similar, and they were like literally buying land and almost they were wow. So they were buying the land and actually covering the cost just by selling the credits.
Gotcha.
Like they were literally paying for
Well, this
it.
is the
like,
thing you were telling me about.
fairly
Yeah, you were
quickly.
like- yeah, you
fairly quickly a turnaround. So I guess we're questioning the legitimacy behind. I do question it. I'm question, is it a money grab? So I mean, we're not here. A part of, I think, what we're doing here today is questioning the legitimacy behind this whole movement.
I like to see any of these things, anything like this. If you can follow the money process, you can usually figure out how well thought out it is and how established it is.
Yeah.
If nobody can tell you who ends up with the money at the end of this thing, that's a nerve-wracking situation because it always ends up somewhere. Somebody has to buy these things. Somebody has to trade them. There's always an exchange or a third-party inspector or somebody that's going to end up.
Who controls it?
Who controls it, exactly. So I always like to try to backtrack the thought process here, even if it's not well-defined, at least if there's a concept of how this thing's going to play out from a fiduciary standpoint, you kind of end up with a rough idea of, okay, I see what's happening here. The money's funneling this way. It's intended to be used this way. There's a purpose. There's a plan.
And that's why I say that's intriguing to me that we found that the land has to be privately held.
I think it's a good
thing. But then there are ways around that too. LLC. I don't know how they can set up
We have to be a
estates
trust, I
or
believe.
trusts.
If you allow the
See,
federal government to
trust-
have carbon credits, they're
Yeah.
the largest landholder
Yeah.
on Earth.
So, but then you can circumvent that by trust, right? So isn't a trust privately held? So anybody could form a trust.
Yeah.
So the corporations could still form trusts and buy the land
how
within
you
the
buy
trust.
signatures.
and
Right.
then-
There's always a gray area.
So
that,
did you find
There
that
always
site,
is.
Tyler? Is there any?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now. I think
Oh,
like what your land has to be or any requirements for the land. I just found this page now, so
Must contain at least
Privately
40
owned.
acres. There we go.
The private must be located in the United States. Must enroll in forest land.
So can you read off those topics there, since we're a podcast and no one can hear our thoughts?
yeah.
I was mumbling.
So he was
It helps.
mumbling it into the mic. So
I was mumbling quietly.
And I did speak into the mic
Nice.
on that.
yeah, you got to have at least 40 acres. Must be privately owned. Has to be in
Wait,
the
go up.
U.S.
Is that 40 acres of forested land? Yeah. Okay.
So
40
yeah,
acres
this
of
is
forested land.
focused on forest stuff here.
Okay.
At least 10% tree canopy cover.
Ooh.
So
All right. Got it.
must be enrolled forest land, and that is
And so you have to have it enrolled
all co-owners are listed
as
on the
forest
deed.
land. Like you have to have it actually like listed, and that meaning that you won't do anything else with it.
I wonder if co-owners being listed on the deed addresses the
The corporation stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. All right, that's very fascinating.
Loophole.
It's now I got another question for you. You brought up ESG earlier.
Yep.
Okay, so how if you go back and watch these previous episodes, I am not a fan of ESG.
All right.
But how are you guys integrating into the ESG model?
So the Scuderi Group ESG, you're not a fan?
I'm not a fan of any ESG, mainly because the ESG concept is fundamentally flawed at this stage, and we are not addressing the flaws in the ESG concept, which is that it is dynamic. So ESG is designed at its very core nature to replace credit scoring and move to a more environmental, social, governance score versus a credit score type situation where we guarantee we'll get paid. It is more of a social score versus an economic score. And it's designed to replace the economic score. The problem is you go to 10 different ESG models, whether it's, there's multiple in the US, a couple in Brazil, there's one in Chile, there's a couple in the UK, or in the EU. And they all not only have different scoring criteria for how they score companies. I mean, we did an entire episode on this. We picked like 5 or 6 ESG scoring companies and just picked random businesses and just saw what their ESG score was. We ran anywhere from 10 to 90 on a 100-point scale. The arbitrary nature of ESG, unless that gets resolved, leads to rampant corruption. If you can just change the scoring model to fit whatever your particular environmental, social, or government's want is at the time, then it doesn't mean anything.
So I'll cut you off because
Go ahead.
we're talking about two different things here.
Fair enough. I'm glad I brought that up then. So what do you mean by ESG? Maybe I'm talking about something different.
Whole ESG, clean energy, renewable energy. It used to be formerly known as the Scuderi Group.
Can you pull that up?
Viking Energy. They're the ones that are building these carbon captures facilities, like the one in Holyoke.
What does ESG stand for? Do you know?
So ESG is the manufacturer, or
So
is that-
ESG Clean Energy.
Yeah.
Right down the first one after the ads.
It might be
Yeah.
Energy Scuderi Group.
Energy Scuderi Group. There we go. Forget everything I said, and we're going to move on with the podcast. So I'm an idiot. How you doing? Glad to meet you.
But yeah, anyways, they
that's
just
a
built,
that's a monumental moment right there, I
It's-
believe.
Well, I'm wrong all the time. It's not
Yeah.
that monumental.
He was like obviously wrong right there, though, right?
So, hey, I have already made my stance on ESG clear. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't hiding anything from that guy.
So let it be known it was the wrong ESG because this ESG is good.
Yes, and do let it be known. That
For
is-
the record,
Well, there's a reason.
To be fair,
Anybody watching this podcast is going to be like, "Why is this guy so silent?" After his rant 3 weeks ago, and it was a hell of a rant. You would have been proud.
I'm gonna mark the idiot comment that he made for himself to balance the genius comments we usually get.
I like that. That's a great idea.
I still feel like that was pretty intelligent. I was
Yeah,
on,
so
I was
I'm
on a roll there. All right.
I'm really into Canberra Energy, and that's who they work
this?
with. They build the carbon capture systems.
Can we see one?
They just built one in Holyoke that's supposed to be like the model or the mothership that, now that it's up and running, the generators are going, it's producing distilled water because that's a byproduct.
Oh, nice.
And they already landed contracts for people to buy the distilled water. There's a local marijuana grower, and that's estimated revenue for that is, I think they said $5 million a year just on the distilled water from the carbon capture.
Really?
Can you talk about the pipeline a little bit? So I was a little foggy on
So
how the
I
pipeline
just got
system
sent.
would work.
I just got sent that on the drive up. It goes through 4 states. It's like 2,000 miles. And they're trying to basically sequester or remove carbon through this pipeline and then inject it like deep into the earth. It goes down like layers into the earth. So it's basically, it's out of the atmosphere and I believe it gets trapped down there. Again, I just got this on the car ride yesterday, so I haven't got the time to read it. So
Okay.
next time, when I can get more into this,
That makes sense.
it'll
Where most of the carbon's coming from. Put it back where you found it.
yeah, I think next time would be productive because I can answer all the questions and get into stuff that will make it tie it all together.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I've already learned a ton I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about.
So can I ask more about the pipeline? Was the pipeline a means of
Terrible wine.
capturing that
Yeah, so
to reuse and actually sell to manufacturers that can actually use the carbon?
right, so that's actually a huge thing for this company I'm into, Camber Energy, because if they get this pipeline to go through, you need to capture the carbon from the air before they pressurize it into a liquid and put it down this pipeline. So the question is, who is capturing all that carbon? What company is going to land that? Probably government funded, which again, if you look back at the Build Back Better plan, there was funding in there to go green and start into this industry to see. I think they said 2050 they want to be net zero, and by ExxonMobil came out a couple weeks back, said by 2030 this will be a $4 trillion industry.
Okay, trying to understand how the whole carbon emission happens and the capture happens. So you come in, you put in the system to capture, carbon capture system. Carbon capture system it's capturing
Up to 90% of emissions.
and the emissions is a gas, but that gas is going to get converted to a liquid form.
Yeah,
Is
so
that what they hope to do with the pipeline?
Yeah, so they would then pressurize it, and when the gas is pressurized, it turns to a liquid,
Okay.
and then it would go through the pipeline until they inject it, deep into the earth.
I'm assuming when you release the pressure, it re-aerosols, correct? So they probably
Yes.
just release it and re-aerosol on the
Right.
ground, just let it.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And we talked about, okay, so your family owns a marijuana operation, correct?
So we are in the process of potentially one dispensary and 2 cultivation.
Okay.
But it's, politics, small town stuff.
Okay, so can we talk about the distilled water, how that product becomes?
Yeah. Yes. So the distilled water is a byproduct. So, obviously when they capture from the stacks, the condensation, turns into the distilled water, and that has less minerals in it. It's cleaner water. So as far as crops and, especially marijuana growers where, any type of infestation or bacteria or, can ruin crops. So especially, being so close, I think the people they partnered with have like a 200,000 square foot warehouse for growing. So that's a lot of water each year. So again, that $5 million a year revenue is pretty substantial just on, waste. It's a byproduct. It's something they have to pay to get rid of. They're getting paid to get rid of it.
So and this is just because I don't understand the whole process of the system is going to come out where the condensation is separate from after the carbon capture system. Is the distilled water going separate from where the gas is going, or the distilled water becomes a byproduct of them capturing the gas, converting it to liquid? How do those two things become separated? Is that something like, am I going a little too deep? How do you get this distilled water and package that and then package the gas? It's like 2 products are coming from this.
Right, I'm pretty sure it's like an evap, and when they pressurize, the gas goes one way and the water goes the other. But
and that's just part of how they build the system.
Is it possible that
I'd have to look into it because I don't know the exact mechanics of it. You know what I
Well, I
mean?
mean, if it's like an air conditioning system, then compressing it actually changes temperature. That might actually create the condensation.
The evap,
Just
yeah.
creates
Yeah,
it.
so you might actually
That's
be
why you
pulled
have
out
that
of the
evap line.
atmosphere as
Yeah.
opposed to being pulled out of the waste material.
Okay.
Which is also why it's probably so clean.
And then
Just a thought, I don't know if that's true.
and then they're
there's
currently
no
capturing
limit.
that through these systems, or it's something they can do. Is it when they design these carbon capture systems? Is it actually capturing that distilled water already? This is
Yeah,
how
they
do-
are
Okay.
because the inventors are pretty smart, and they they figured this out early. What are we gonna do with all this water?
And I don't
you
know a lot. I don't really know anything about distilled water. I mean, I know it's in the gallon jug.
So it just has less
on the
minerals.
shelf in the grocery store.
Delicious, Jimmy.
It's just pure. There's less minerals. It's some high quality H2O.
On a Waterboy reference, we're going to take a break. We back to learn more, and we got to get you a plug for your weed business.
All right.
So, all right, we're back. You talking about cryptos or stocks?
Stocks. Well, in
stocks.
general. In
Stocks
general.
are hosted. Yeah.
I mean, I think if one of these plays happen and they have to, get margin called and start covering all these synthetic shares that they're just selling people. They're basically selling to people, the same car 100 times that they only have one of. Mm-hmm. So when this comes out and they have to be in compliance and show their hand in their short positions, and there's only 100 chips on the table, but there's supposed to be 100 chips, but there's 350 chips.
Well, we are. I mean, I got to be honest. Every single indicator you watch if you invest are all there. Every single one. It's there's no one bubble. There's like one just massive market bubble.
Yeah.
It hits every industry, and we're even back into unsecured mortgages again. It's 2008 all over again. How did we get back there? I thought we were done with that crap.
They're just stealing everything they possibly can
They're
get their
just
hands
raping
on,
and pillaging. Yep.
as much as they possibly
Snake
can.
as much as you can snake. Put it all in gold.
I'll tell
What do you
what,
think's going to rebound first?
You know what? Typically, it's going to be a new industry.
I think it's going to be toilet paper. I think it's going to be carbon capture.
Best investment ever. It's going to be bidets.
Yeah.
Bidets are going to be dominant.
I think if they didn't spend,
Days.
look at all this money that they're putting out for the war aid and all this stuff. If everybody didn't take all this money for war, we wouldn't have the problems that we have. I think personally, when homeless vets, bad psych help, all this stuff, cancer, we should have the cure for that. Tell me we don't.
No, that's
How
just
come
tucked away.
famous people get sick and then aren't sick?
The cure
Because
for
they can't pay
cancer is
for it?
we
tucked
just did an
away.
episode on that 2 weeks ago. We actually built a bracket for diseases.
Yep.
Now it was the Jada Pinkett Invitational, Jada Pinkett Smith Invitational, because we wanted alopecia to get slaughtered by cancer. But yeah, there's absolutely no way with the billions and billions of dollars we spend on cancer research that we're not sitting on something.
They just
better than
tuck
what
that
we have.
away because it's population control.
I mean, that's one of the main things too with my platform and crypto is I'm going to set up a charity fund so that say 1%. Everybody's got a burn rate and reflection rate. I want to cut those down a little bit just to make a charity fund, whether it's 1% of sales. Think of it like gas for your
That's pretty cool.
And then I already asked, I'm part of a group. We raise money for pediatric cancer, Strong-Willed Sports. It's a Facebook group. The founder's son beat cancer at 4, Will, and it's he started it because the bills and cancer treatment, money gets tough, and he made it through, and we spend our own money to buy jerseys that are signed, authentic jerseys from NFL, NHL, you name it, and then we raffle it off, and that's when the group gets their money back that they personally spent, and all the extras goes to the Jimmy Fund or Dana-Farber. So the founder, Craig Allen, I asked him to be the head of my charity. That it'd basically be like a board, and they'd be like, oh, we're gonna buy a place down by Disney and then turn it into a spot where it's like a Make-A-Wish house.
Nice.
So families that can't afford vacation, it doesn't have to be just cancer too, but people who are struggling day to day, living week to week, which is most of America right now. Let's be honest. They'll have a chance to do stuff with their kids that other people do. So we're hoping to change the world one step at a time, whether it's, these guys just put in a well in Venezuela for clean water. I mean, if the whole world just put stuff together, it'd be such a better place. But, unfortunately, greed and power are more important at this point, I guess. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
People be stupid, Joe. It's rule
So
number
we're going
25.
to change the world and make it cleaner with the carbon capture.
Very cool. All right, so tell us about the weed business.
Weed business is, stuff's great.
It's delightful.
Stuff.
So, political stuff, little snags along the way. We just put our clothing line up.
I saw that.
So we
Yeah,
got
bud.
online store for that.
Now hold on. Now is this up? Where is this at? Where's this located?
This is south of Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay. So and Massachusetts, it's recreationally legal.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're not going medical. We're going recreational,
Gotcha.
adult use.
Can we put in a swag order live on our podcast for some shirts and hats?
Yeah, maybe next time.
Oh, you know what? We're in PA.
we'll have the,
You're in Massachusetts. We'll trade you guns for buds.
Yeah.
That could be our charity, Guns for Buds. We could do it together.
I know.
We'll run it.
And you use give bucks to pay for it. Yeah, I like it. Big things coming next couple weeks when we come back.
That's awesome. No, it's you cannot get weed in PA. That is not a thing.
Oh,
That's the other kind of
Still
dick's bad
illegal.
around here. So,
Medical, you can get medical.
that sucks.
you can get medical. You can get medical.
Yeah.
There's no recreational.
No recreational. If you get your medical card, though, you cannot have a carry permit for a firearm. They take that away.
You know,
Technically,
we just
buy a
heard
gun.
that's a farce.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I've never known somebody who's so high he killed people with a firearm. That's never happened. Like, that shit is
We were
non-existent.
we were discussing that today that it's not true.
It's
So
definitely
technically,
true.
when you buy a firearm on the 4473 form from the federal government, you have to specify if you're a marijuana user.
Which form was that again?
Yeah, but you know
4473.
who
The
enforces that?
44-
Local law
4473.
It'd be
enforcement?
My
federal.
boy's wicked
It will,
smart.
it will kill your background check
4473 form.
if you check yes.
You'll fail your background check.
So you'll fail your background check.
Don't say yes, people.
It's
Not financial advice or life
not
advice.
what I would have expected from
Do
a
not check the
cannabis
yes
store.
box on your
Don't say yes.
44347 form.
So it is definitely true that you cannot have a carry permit and a medical marijuana card in PA.
Yeah.
That is 100% true.
I've heard the same, but
Okay.
I haven't seen anybody
Yeah, so
have
we
it
just
revoked.
okay.
So
Yeah,
Because we've
like-
established a week or two ago that it actually was the case
it was what?
that you couldn't get a firearm if you had
yeah.
Oh yeah.
you know
Yeah, no,
medical marijuana card.
they treat marijuana in PA the same as basically heroin.
yeah.
It is
why
crazy.
and
It's
that's
a
how
class 3 narcotic.
That's
Right?
how it's identified
Yeah.
at the federal government level too.
Exactly. Well, that's why.
Yeah.
Junkies.
They're punting to the
Yeah.
feds.
I said junkies.
Yeah, so we're trying to open up a dispensary as well as two grow facilities. One of which might be a micro business, which is like a dual licenseship almost. So you can grow, so cultivation, processing, and distribution, as well as home delivery that just got approved. So basically, you can have, instead of just having a grow and wholesaling, you can also do processing, like making your own pre-rolls and those types of products.
That's kind of awesome.
And then, through an app, you can deliver and we show up like the pizza guy. Or maybe we'll do, a deal where we stop and get your pizza or Chinese food on the way.
Can you
But
deliver through USPS?
No,
I mean,
that's federal mail. It's not
can
federally
you do it
legal.
through FedEx?
I don't know. No, don't do that, people.
In a coffee can, even? I don't. Forget it. Never mind.
Could you
We'll
just
talk later.
Yeah.
mail it privately in a box?
Well, I'm just thinking, like, even if it's within Massachusetts,
hire-
I mean, we're coming
Courier?
back in a couple weeks, so
yeah,
We could hire a courier to
it's you actually probably could hire a courier. Yeah, right.
yeah, we'll be back in the Lambo in like 6 hours.
Nice, nice in the Lambo.
What's that one movie with that one dude where he delivers packages?
Transporter.
Transporter.
Well,
We need to.
So hot.
did you look? Damn it. This is when he gets naked. This is when he gets naked. This is when it happens.
Sorry.
We need to.
Is
Sorry,
it
John was here, but now this
Is
is
it mirrors
Jonathan.
every single Jason Statham movie the same movie?
It's the same, but
It's the
they're
same
all
movie.
equally badass. I'm sorry.
No, they are equally badass. But he doesn't look like a badass.
How about the one where he's running around and he's got to keep his heart rate up, so he's looking for blood?
Cranked?
Oh my god!
Is that
yeah.
Cranked?
High voltage.
Crank? No, isn't Cranked, right?
I can't remember what it is.
They have the same movie.
But if his heart rate drops,
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
if his heart rate drops, he dies.
Yeah.
So he's constantly.
Car battery to his chest.
It's kind of like Speed without the bus.
I feel like I could do that movie.
What? Every time? What? Take a bump every time you're tired?
It's just like I don't know.
I fell asleep on the commercial breaks. I'd
Oh,
be
did
fucking
you?
dead.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that would not work. Jason Statham. I just tried to watch one of his movies. It was some older, like 1990s movie where he was a cop, and I gotta be honest, it was terrible. But not because of him. He's always a badass. It was because everybody else in the movie was absolutely horrific. It was, I can't remember what the name it was, but it was one of those, I rarely stop a movie halfway through. And I got halfway through and I said, nope. I have other stuff to do with my time. Like, I can't do this. Anyway, all right. So we have not heard a single thing from you. I feel like you have some badass stuff to say. So what do you do? Like, why are you here with him? What's your relationship here?
Well, why I'm here with him, I work for him. He owns his own construction business back in Boston, Mass.
Okay.
So I've known John, I don't know, since I was 14, just about. His wife currently has been best friends with my cousin forever, and then my sister. They're all friends, so it's kind of just family now, really. But yeah, no, so I work for him now full time and joining him with this journey in further business.
Now, have you been into the NFT stuff before, into crypto at all?
No,
So
no,
you're
this
new
is,
in all
this is all really new to me, really.
Okay. So do you have a role in the organization, or are you just kind of like the right-hand man? Just whatever
As of right now,
He's
yeah,
your
the
go-to
right-hand
guy.
man.
He's on the right.
That makes sense. Jeffrey! That makes sense.
He's the badass car
name's
builder.
Jeff.
Hey, I'll tell you what. If
He's
you
the
can find
badass
another
car
person
builder of
as
the group.
loyal as this guy, you'd have the same
Okay,
right-hand man.
so you're the guy that starts shit, and you're the guy that wraps it up.
That's
I got it.
that's right.
I see what's going on here. You finish it. All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
He's building the buggies that are going to be the marketing piece for the.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
So,
There's a
but you gotta send it to Tyler
No,
so
wait.
he can get it on the
see.
screen.
Hold on a second. What kind of construction company?
Residential remodeling and additions, new construction.
Any jobs you don't have? I mean, it might be easier to go that way because you've got an NFT company, you got a crypto company, your family's running weed manufacturers and distributors, you got a construction company. I'm kind of jealous. The guy's like the ultimate Renaissance man. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work, though. I mean, I'm hoping to, not, I would say financially free. I'm not trying to, my goal is not to get rich here. My goal is to spread the wealth. That's why, he worked for me and I was going to pursue this. So I'm going to take care of him. That's the type of person I am. I'm setting up people in my life so that they'll be financially free.
That's awesome.
So that, the money that we don't need, we can raise money for charity, give everybody a good life.
Nice.
That's the goal.
That's awesome. So very cool. So let's see these things.
How quickly can we get it to me or get an email to Tyler and pull these cars up?
Is email the way to do it?
These cars are sweet.
Yeah.
Give him
okay.
your email so he can
Do you
email
have
it to
email on
you,
that computer?
Yeah, I can
and then you can.
Yeah.
see.
Oh, don't let everybody
No,
see your email.
nobody can see it. So
This is the
I see the type of stuff you have in your email.
this is the adventure.
I can't take the letters on that.
This is the adventure quarter of the show.
It's we're just I want to dig into some of the stuff they're doing now. I'm fascinated.
Well,
They captured my attention.
We're gonna take these cars and we're gonna put some Active World logos on them and promote the.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Matt
there'll be
needs new
there'll be
suspension
some
right now.
Velocity stuff on there. There'll be some carbon credit stuff
you're
on
gonna get
there.
so much
You could
spam.
sponsor Matt.
blur
that
He
out.
needs new shocks and stuff.
Yeah,
see it.
that's
Okay,
what.
nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
See
Well
how
done.
it all ties together?
Why didn't
Wow!
you give
Look, you can see
You
that.
should have given mine. That doesn't even look like a real word.
Hey,
No,
did
it
you,
doesn't.
Did you notice? Did you see our group text?
No, which group text?
Wait, I always mix.
Who
Tyler
was the other
up.
dude on that text? Who was that?
I always mix his name up.
Because he was super cool. He was like, "Yeah, I think you got the wrong guy's sport." Like, it was kind of a great response, but
I always grab his name by accident.
that's not Snatch is amazing. Freaking love Snatch in every way. Not home front Parker. Wait, go back. It was a cop movie. Safe now. Man, how old is this thing? There's Crank. Man, he did a lot of movies. Is there anything he didn't do?
Expendables, Revolver, Chaos.
Now, let me ask you this: Expendables, good or bad?
I like it.
I liked it too.
I like
A
it.
lot of people talk smack on it. I
All of them are good.
I definitely won. I thought they were
I
all
don't
good
know
too. I don't remember which one it was. I gotta look it up. It's in my
You get that?
It's Tyler McCarty.
Here, do
McCully.
do this one because
You've known him for years.
I know, but I have a Tyler.
I'm locked out of mine.
I have
The other dude's name is
My other
McCurdy.
one.
the Tyler that I have two Tylers. It's Tyler McCauley and Tyler McCarty
Do we gotta bleep that name out
in
now?
my database. So I keep
Did you just
grabbing.
name drop Tyler McCurdy?
I keep grabbing Tyler
Someone just got
McCarty's
some cool pictures.
name and add adding him to.
Did you get him?
He's,
No, I'm locked out of my. I can't
This
2FA
is-
in.
this is
I set up a
useless.
broken
Useless.
agenda. I set up a
gave him a different one,
broken
though.
broken agenda text group, Tyler, but Tyler McCarty is in it.
Way to go.
Well, no, I just copied the real Tyler in, not the fake Slim Shady, and it all worked out.
Slim Shady.
See, I want to go back to the giant machines.
How are we making out with the
Well, no,
cars?
you got to get the email. We're gonna see him in a second. Tyler's got it. So is this like Active Worlds?
Did you get that email?
Ferrari?
What's that?
Or is that a Lambo? Is that a Lambo?
That's a Lambo.
That's a Lambo.
We have our Ferrari getting done right
Wait,
now.
so you're gonna have a Ferrari and a Lambo?
Yeah, and we have.
Do they ever let you drive them?
We could drive it. Yeah.
Can I drive it?
Yeah, I think we could.
Why aren't we driving it right now? We should be driving it right now.
Because we're filming the podcast.
We're here.
I will shut this crap down and we can go with drive.
We
Lambo.
also got a motorhome that we're gonna wrap too. That's gonna
Not
be
as
sweet.
exciting as a Lambo.
Potentially too.
We're gonna tow the Lambo with the motorhome.
What?
Yeah, just
Wait,
for
are you serious?
just to put some Berks County in it.
That
That's
does
like
sound very Berks County. That's gonna tow my house with a Lamborghini.
I don't know if you have enough
That's-
clearance to do that. Just scraping the back bumper off on the highway.
You understand? That's the defining trait of our town.
All right.
Berks County, you live in a motorhome, or you live in a mobile home, and you drive a BMW 5 Series. That's how we roll around here.
Thrifty. Thrifty.
It's a good look. It's a good. The BMW is brand new, by the way.
Yeah.
Mobile home is not. Hey, did we get this thing yet?
I did not get it yet.
I am hungry for photos.
all right. Well,
Technology.
Just might be-
fail.
in the
Gmail.
meantime,
All right, so what kind of cars are we looking at? Like, what's he sending?
he's sending the buggies, man.
I don't know what a buggy is. Is this
It's
like
just not gonna do it justice. Yeah, that's why I'm
That
saying,
was his
dude.
dune
That was
buggy.
his
I want
daily
one.
Yeah,
driver.
we got to
Right,
pull that
you
up.
got to get
bro.
that up on there. How do we make that happen?
Yeah, we got to pull that up.
Oh, I want one. Can I have
Yeah.
one? Like, do I buy one?
built it.
Well, yeah, I built that.
Would you build one for me? Build it for me. Do it. Come on, don't be weird about it. Just build it.
Just
Just
build
say
it.
yes.
If you build it,
Wasn't it
they
you
will
and I?
come.
I said if I can get us a rally car, we're going out and we're doing the Baja. That was you
Oh,
and me.
you can buy those. You can find those online all the time.
But I want mine custom.
Well, so doesn't everyone.
Fine, whatever. That's awesome, man.
But yeah, that used to be my old daily driver.
What?
That's a 93 GMC 2500 single cab long bed.
Get the crap out of here.
I cut the frame off right at the back of the cab, replaced it all with tube,
All
and then
right.
put a whole EXO cage on it.
You have got to give me pictures. My father-in-law is an old school gearhead. He
Yeah.
will lose his mind seeing what you do.
How about
with
if you
that thing.
text it to me and then I'll email
Yeah.
it to Tyler? You got my number?
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, Jimmy, we got our vehicle. Now we just need to sign up.
529
Baja run, buddy. He's not even listening to me. It's unbelievable.
8944.
It's all right. I'll come with you.
You're never going to get that email.
No, I won't. No, it didn't
Thank
come through.
All right, so I'm going to try to forward it to Tyler while we move on. We talk more about whatever we're talking about, carbon credits or.
Well, I kind
Are
of
we
want to
still
talk
on the
about.
marijuana
I'm still not
topic, or-
100% sure how the NFTs play in. I mean, I know, but I don't know. But
As far as what I'm talking about,
yeah, as far as your project. So obviously the credit. Can you talk about it? That's the first thing. Is that something you can even go into detail on?
it sucks because I want to, but
If
I
you
don't
can't,
know
you
if
can't.
we're gonna be
I think
ready.
scuffing the surface of it is fine. I mean, basically, what we want to do is we want to match people who have carbon credits and don't realize they have carbon credits with people who want carbon credits. And we're going to do that through NFTs,
He just gave away your entire
essentially.
business
But it's not.
James is no longer with us.
model. No, he's.
Am I kicked out of the club?
We'll have to delay release of this episode now. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.
It's okay. It's okay because there's other companies doing it, and by the time this airs, we'll be up and running.
No, I know.
So anybody,
I
who-
wanna go over
Put it
it,
this
but-
way: you're not. Nobody who doesn't have the idea is going to benefit from this show. They're not going to beat us to the punch, and
Oh, no one's gonna beat me at this.
yeah. So it really doesn't. Essentially, I don't think matter.
Well, I love the whole concept.
I mean, we wouldn't
It's
tell them. There's
awesome.
much more behind it. It's not quite that simple.
And
There's a lot of logistical.
So I'll tell you the simple stuff
Putting it together.
because we're already there. I mean, really, we are. So essentially, the crypto would essentially buy the NFT, and the NFT would be the actual image, if you will, of a certified carbon credit. That would be like the permit, if you will. So that's where I was getting at, where there'll be, say, whatever, a picture of a tree, and that will be equal as an NFT. minted certified carbon credit, and you will buy that with your crypto, and that's your physical carbon credit. And then we'll have another version of the NFT, say, I don't know, just another image, and that will be worth 10 carbon credits. So you can kind of compress, so you're not using huge numbers. You can move decimal points by grouping and buying. There could be some NFTs that are worth 1,000. You know, we're talking huge volume daily. That some of these NFTs might be worth 1 million carbon credits.
Gotcha. Okay. I do have it might be a dumb question. I apologize in advance.
That's fine.
The cryptos, are they going to be just regular on exchanges, like a normal person? Because I don't generate nor do I offset. Can I still just buy the cryptos, or is it really very that specialized that you can only invest in the cryptos, you only be involved in the cryptos if you are in the process? Or
So I would say that I haven't completely hashed that out, but as much as, it'll pretty much just be open to the public.
Okay.
So, I mean, anybody would have the right, just like anybody has the right to buy a piece of land and sell a piece of land, or, it's an asset, just like, a stock is. So, it will be a public commodity that people can buy and, invest in. Because if you're buying a carbon credit, when we drop at price A and it goes up and you sell at price B, you made a profit. So, did you use it? No. Could that be a problem later down the road? Maybe. It might have to be regulated because, if you think about it, and, a lot of people are investing and now they hold the majority of the carbon credits.
Not only that, but a pump and dump could have ecological impact. I mean, like if somebody starts manipulating pricing.
It could, and then if people are holding it and setting their price, then the price goes up, and we're killing businesses. So, but again, if they're putting in carbon capture systems like the one we were talking about, they can also sequester it from these systems and sell the credits themselves.
Oh, nice. I remember reading about the carbon capture systems initial designs in an engineering trade journal about, maybe 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember reading the whole specs and thinking, this thing is amazing.
Was that the Scuderi group?
I don't remember if it was scared. I think it was just a trade journal I think it was at MIT.
All right.
I'm out of Massachusetts, but they were coming up with different carbon capture engineering designs for how they could actually atmospherically capture, industrially capture, groundwater capture, where they can actually pull it right out of runoff. I did not realize they had come along this far. I haven't seen anything in probably the last 8 years.
And another thing we didn't even talk about was what's contained in the storage pods, if you will. This carbon can be resold. So not only the carbon credits, not only the distilled water, but the physical carbon in these storage tanks, unless we're sequestering it and putting it down this pipeline, that recycled carbon can be sold to, there's a company called Carbocrete. They're based out of Canada, but they take the carbon and basically inject it into the concrete, and then it's out of the atmosphere.
Yeah, it locks it into
and then,
solid state.
Carbon's in everything in the world. So plastic industries, that's going to be regulated. Like, do we feel safe using, recycled carbon for plastic forks and stuff? Maybe not. I think it will be, but so they're able to sell the carbon credits, sell the carbon, and sell the distilled water, and they don't have to pay for as much carbon credits. They're selling them.
Yep.
So it really is an investment to buy a system from the companies like
And
this.
it sounds like it really incentivizes a more organic recycling process.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge incentive to be green.
Right now, recycling sucks. Let's be fair. If you're in the recycling
Right. business,
unless you're recycling electronics and you're pulling out precious metals, palladium, silver, gold,
Yeah, scrap.
recycling is absolute trash business to be in. No pun intended.
Because that's
Yeah, you like
that's
that?
scrap
That's
on
good, right?
AWC, right?
Boom.
Scrap coin.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Little shout out.
Well, that's one of the tokens that we have is actually recycling, pulling the precious metal out of.
and that's what you're doing,
electronics.
yeah. And that's a good.
And we have a token for that, the scrap token.
and that's the market to be in right now.
That's one of our tokens.
But
of
if you can
projects.
expand that out to other things, because there's no market for plastic recycling right now. I mean, if you're not, if you're not subsidizing it, you lose money every time, twice on Sunday. And the amount of energy you got to put in to melt down and reform plastic far exceeds the amount of money you can ever sell the raw plastic for. Yeah. So, but these guys sounds like they're doing something that actually found a way to incentivize companies to do it, even if it doesn't make a mass profit. So, interesting. Well, I will say we are running out of time here. Tyler, I have not heard a freaking peep out of you all day.
I'm still trying to figure out what an NFT is.
Non-fungible token.
No, yeah, I know.
We've had this conversation with him. It goes nowhere. He's like, but what is fungible? Like, why can't I funge it?
Why can't it be fungi?
Why can't it be funged? Exactly.
I want it to be fungi.
Not fungus?
You don't have any questions?
I don't. No, it was captivating.
You're usually the wild card. You come swinging in out of nowhere and you blow us all up.
No, I got nothing.
That's not true. Jimmy's the wild card.
Yeah,
We
I
all
just
know
say he's
that.
a wild card.
I lied. All right. Well, Jimmy, do you have anything else?
I don't. I mean, we'll see what happens because, I mean, it seems like we're going to be working together here. So we'll be bringing more information. We'll do another one of these sessions once things end up and running. And then we can keep you guys posted with how everything develops. And
Can you give us the name of your token yet? Or is that not cool?
we don't really have.
That's a niche.
Yeah,
That's
that's.
okay. I didn't know. I don't
Niche,
know
niche.
We've already said too much, right?
I don't want to get beat up. have
I
soft
only
hands.
said a real little bit. You said a
I
whole
know.
lot,
Well, that's
so-
what happens. It's like you undid
Yeah.
my zipper and now I'm naked.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure it got far beyond that. Jimmy blew you. I mean, yeah,
That was a break for
it
a
was
little
nice.
I'm insulted.
It was romantic.
I'm offended, and I speak to the offended God.
bit. You can contact my HR.
It's, I feel like he'll just beat you up.
I say now we wrap it up and we're looking at the buggies.
All I know is you got to blow his HR guy now. that's what I heard. Look, I seriously want one of those buggies. Like, let's make that happen. Oh, is that? Did
That's
you
it.
show
Blowing
everybody that?
done.
Yeah, I just pulled it up.
All right, so this
Yeah.
dude built
We
that
were
dude.
we were utilizing that technology while Craig was flapping at the gums.
That's-
We made it happen.
That's-
Like remember earlier when he said
Somebody
we
has to keep people
remember
not
earlier-
closing the window that this podcast is on.
remember earlier when he said we couldn't do it, Tyler? Well, we did it.
I never said that.
We did it, my
I said
friend.
you shouldn't do it.
Thanks
We-
to
There's a difference.
Signal.
We did it.
All right, so what is that again? What is that a? What did you build that out of?
That's my old daily pickup truck.
Which pickup truck was it?
It's a 93 GMC 2500.
GMC 2500.
Yep. A single cab long bed, which is not even close to that now.
I was about to say that's not even the original.
Not even
Support
remotely.
structure.
It's just the cab.
You can see the back of you can see the cab. Like it's still got the rear window. Like you left that in.
That's it.
That's
Oh,
freaking hysterical.
it still has the windshield in it, the
Yeah.
rear glass.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, it still has the full dash in it. The radio still works.
Obviously, those are the original.
I still have
struts.
heat in it, so I take it out in the winter and everything.
Yeah.
It's a 5-speed in it,
Is
manual.
Is that the original engine?
No, that's the 4th motor that I've put in that.
So what is in that? What is that?
It's a factory motor that comes with those trucks, a 350 TBI.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was daily driving it, I went through 2 motors. Then before I built that, I had a motor ready for it. And then as soon as I put it in and took the truck out for its like maiden voyage, it blew up the motor. So, and that was like a week before I had to go to Tennessee with my buddies because we were going to like a 3,000 acre off-road park. So I had to do a motor swap in a weekend. And
All right, you want
get
to
it
feel
all
better?
done.
I got a story for you. So I got a buddy who bought an Audi RX-8.
Okay.
What was that, like $150,000 car, something like that? It's a ton of
An
money.
RX-8 or the R8?
No, the two-door sports car, the high-end, the super high-end two-door sports car.
Well, the RX-8 would be the rotary powered one. The R8's the super car, if you would.
Then that one. I don't
Okay.
know what's happening.
Just trying to help you out.
I know it's
man.
an Audi. and There's an 8 in it. I don't know what happens in between.
Now
All right.
we
Is
got
the
him
R8
talking.
a two-door sports car?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one.
See, now we got him talking.
So he bought it, right? And showed up. His wife was pissed. Like, she was like, what? And he had a midlife crisis. It happens to all of us. What are
Well,
you
yeah,
gonna
it's an expensive car.
do? It's an expensive car, but he does well for himself, and he decided he was going to treat himself.
fair
He's
enough.
got like 4 kids, and he was like, I'm buying a car. I didn't
He
want the
wants a
kids.
5th.
I want exactly.
I'm getting a car.
So he gets it. He decides he's going to put new heads on the engine. and kind of ramp up he's going to do all sorts of tweak into it and ramp up the horsepower on it. I mean, those things are like 750 horses out of the box.
Right.
He wants to hit 850 for some reason, which you're never going to feel 750, 850, but he does it, takes it out, blows the engine. Thank God he did that the week after I got to drive it. He only owned it 3 weeks, though. He owns it for 3 weeks. Wow. Right? Blows the engine up, takes it back to Audi, and says, hey, the engine blew up. And they go, did you do anything to it? He goes, no. They open the hood and they go, you're a liar, warranty voided, take it home. His wife, he had a 5-year payment plan on the car.
Only 5 years.
It was, yeah.
Right.
So, which I don't know how many thousands of dollars a month that was.
Well, right.
So his wife goes, until you pay off the car, it sits under a tarp. I'm not giving you any money to fix the car. And I get a new car, and you drive my old 2002 Chevy Traverse. So for the next 5 years, I've seen this guy run it into trees intentionally. I've seen him blast through gates in a farm field. Like, he's just trying to kill this Chevy Traverse, and it will not die. His wife's got a brand new Infiniti SUV. She, like, literally parks right next to him anytime she can, just to make comments about his car. Still has that goddamn thing under a tarp. It's been 5 years.
I absolutely
so
love
sad.
that story.
He's such
That
an
is a
idiot.
phenomenal story.
He's a jackwagon. All my friends are idiots. Not you guys, of course.
Yeah, you should have saw that. You should have saw that when I had doors on it.
Yeah,
I think
flip
it
through
had
some more
doors on it?
pictures.
Oh, that had some
I
doors
sent
on it.
about 6 or 7 pictures.
I only grabbed 2 of them. I closed out. Yeah.
Is that you
Can you get
driving
some more?
it in that picture?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's got some really cool pictures. They're worth looking at.
What else you got? Oh, you sent them over on Signal?
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
No, I emailed it.
Oh, did you?
I emailed them.
To my work email?
Yeah.
I can't get into it right now.
Oh, are you
I have
kidding
to
me?
2FA with my phone.
Oh, do you want me to send them to
Yeah,
Signal?
send them via
Oh,
Signal.
I'm sorry. Jeez. All right.
That's why.
What's the other one?
Yeah, that's this one here.
Which
Yeah.
one you got? You got the first one?
I got these 2.
You got the second? Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. All right.
That engine looks redonkulous. I don't know what's going on with that thing. There's too many circles. Why are there so many circles?
It's just all the accessory drives on the front of it, all the pulleys. Because it still has the AC pump on it, the alternator, obviously, and the water pump, harmonic balancer,
I'm not used to looking at a car like that. It's freaking me
power
out.
steering.
It's kind of awesome.
It's very apocalyptic.
It's kind of awesome. It needs
It needs a 50 cal on the back.
Thank you. Beat me to it. Dick.
That's what I said.
Isn't that what they did on Armageddon? Except they sent it to space. They built that, sent it to space, put a 50 cal on top for some reason.
This is like Mad Max.
It's like
Yeah, Mad Max. Yeah.
But
Yeah, but I like the Armageddon version better because they freaked out about the 9mm in the safe in the cockpit. Yet both Land Rovers have 50 cals on top for no reason at all.
Yeah, that
And they're trying to get rid of weight, but they don't get rid of the ammo. Like, no, we're gonna need that definitely.
dude,
Dumbest movie
that truck right there has Active World written all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least it doesn't yet, but it should.
That one looks ridiculous. I love it. It's great. It's a great truck.
yeah, that was in Tennessee right there.
That's a great
It looks
truck.
sick wrapped.
Yeah, I bet
Well,
it
the
does.
next picture is like it's a monster just
the next
eating the mountain.
What's the next one?
What's the? Which one's the next one, Jimmy?
It's coming. One of them looks like it's eating the mountainside.
Is it? No, no.
I don't see it yet.
Yeah.
It's
Didn't
the
come through
next.
He's a liar.
It's the following.
All right, we got to wrap it up, guys.
Really, you can't show the best picture?
It's, apparently, your tech skills suck. That's all I can tell you.
No way. I sent it.
You're the worst.
All right, come on, one more. You gotta show this one.
All right, now the ton
there
are
it
coming
is.
for
There
that.
it
Look at
is.
that. All right, that was
Look
well
at
worth the
that,
wait. No,
dude.
that was worth the wait. You were correct. Hold on, it's coming up.
It's like it's just eating the countryside. Look at that.
Did it make it through there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Holy crap. That is that is bad right
That
there.
is freaking phenomenal. Did he come up to your thing? Was he up in?
Nah,
No.
no.
Okay, I didn't know.
No.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. Your truck would decimate all those trucks. Like none of them were that.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
wouldn't eat. They wouldn't do that.
No, they would not do
But
that.
that's a Land Rover competition, and it's actually a formal Land Rover competition. They have a scoring system and everything. But if you do not have a Land Rover, you can't
You have
compete.
to wear like a paisley pattern vest.
You do. It's all Argyle.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you do.
No, yeah, I've dumped some money into it for sure to get it like that.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's your kid.
Oh, I took it apart all this winter completely to like nothing. Motors out of it, transmissions out, transfer case. Redid the back half of it a little bit.
Wow.
Pieces, and I was like,
Yeah, I've got some new shocks for it, so
I'm really good at taking stuff apart, but I can't remember how to put it back together.
oh,
Yeah.
it just takes forever. But no, after this winter, once it's back together, I'll have like 40K into that.
Woo! Nice. Although if you were to buy a dune buggy, it would cost you probably 60 at this point. So
I mean,
they've
that's the
gotten so
thing. I
expensive.
mean, you look at side by sides and everything, and they're like 20 grand plus,
Yep.
right off the box. So it's like,
That's before you do anything fun to them.
seriously.
Yeah. No, they're
But I mean, and people, I don't know, people think they can do the stuff that we're doing with these, but they just break it. And you break so much shit doing that stuff if it's not like built properly.
I literally can't change my own oil. I feel like a vagina right now. Yeah.
But you can
If
do
it
the.
makes you feel better, before we came here, so we came up here, it was what?
Monday.
It was Monday.
8 a.m.
I pull up to his house because we were going to our job site. I'm there at like 7 every morning, and it's like 8 o'clock. We're still in his driveway. He's like, "Want to go to Pennsylvania instead?" I'm like, "Sure." So we
Nobody ever says that. Sure.
and yeah, so I went home, grabbed a bag of clothes, freaking went to the parts store, did my front brakes on my truck before I even came up here.
Jeez.
Like within a half an hour.
Like,
Jesus.
You're like, oh, I just did my brakes. I was like, I packed and went to the bank and you did your brakes. You did all this shit.
dude, I was rushing. I thought it was late too. I'm like, oh.
All right, so we got to trade guns for buds and guns for trucks. We can build guns. Does that help?
I can build them too.
Damn it. He can do everything.
Let's say if you can build that.
We could order shirts.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we'll order some shirts.
All right, we got to wrap it up. We're way over time. Gentlemen,
All right.
thank you so much. I
Yes,
appreciate
thank
you
you.
coming out.
Till next
Tyler,
time.
thank you for being awesome. Jimmy,
Yeah.
you know,
You don't need to say anything.
fair enough. Have a great night, everybody.
The Broken Agenda Podcast. Sponsored by Laughing Rock Technology.